Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I'm going to talk to you about the Marchman Act and the ability to prove recent and relevant substance use. So just a sort of an overview, the Marchman Act is a statute here in Florida, unique to Florida. In fact, there's really nothing else quite like it, so we're very, very blessed to have it here in Florida. And it's a very useful tool to save individuals who have a primary substance use disorder. So the Marchman Act is designed for primary substance use and co-occurring mental illness. And the reason that it is for both substance and mental illness is because, well, these days we very rarely, at least I don't remember ever seeing a case where somebody just uses and doesn't have a mental health issue. Maybe 10 years ago when we started filing the Marchman Act cases, several hundred cases ago. But what we saw, right? Drugs, alcohol. That's why we were drug and alcohol attorneys back then. But COVID and the legalization of marijuana here in Florida have caused an absolute explosion in the mental health cases that we see here. But we do a lot of Marchman Act cases. We get a lot of calls from families who want us to file a Marchman Act. And so part and parcel of what I call the triaging of the case, which is making sure we have enough evidence so that we can file a Marchman Act for you, is there substance use, right? Do we have marijuana use or abusive prescription pills or cocaine or heroin or meth or some other recreational type of substance? And is it recent? Can we prove that it's recent? And I use the word recent because the court's going to say to me, Mr. Astor, I get it. This has been going on for years and years and years, but mom and dad haven't seen their adult child for 6 months. He or she has been living in a different part of the state or a different part of the county, or they've just become disconnected, but they don't have any real direct evidence. Now, there may be some evidence that they might be using. Perhaps their behavior demonstrates that. Perhaps the fact that, they don't eat properly, they don't bathe, they can't hold down a job, their relationships with other people are, not what they used to be. And so we don't really have somebody who's seen it, okay? They can't come in and say, well, I was with him yesterday, he was outside the back porch smoking marijuana, or he was vaping, or he's using an edible, or he's told me that he's doing that, or she's told me she's doing that. And so we have seen a number of cases, partly because I think sometimes when it reaches a sort of crescendo, when it's been going on for a long time and the family just says, listen, we can't deal with this, we can't have you in our home like this. What happens is the family comes to us and says, I want to file a Marchman Act because I'm told you can put my loved one into treatment, which is true. But what turns out to be the case is that there's no direct evidence of substance use that's recent. And just in my world, I'd probably want it to be within the last month at an outset, right? If it's 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, I'm going to say, listen, I don't think we can prove this case. I think it's a long shot. And, because this is all that we do, and my wife, who's also my law partner, tells me I'm sometimes to a fault brutally honest. If I don't think we can win the case for you, I don't think we've got a good chance to get you the result, I'm going to tell you. And my team is going to tell you. I expect them to tell you. Now, does that mean there's nothing we can do? No, there's other options on the table. And that's probably for a different video, different discussion on another day. But if I don't think it's a Marchman Act, my team's going to tell you. And we'll talk about other options besides the Marchman Act. But I think if you're one of these families that wants to know, hey, will this work for me? Then I'm going to tell you, you need to make sure that you have some evidence. And I think this has come about because we've seen a couple of cases come in where clients asked us to file a Marchman Act. And we said, look, I don't think you have enough for Marchman Act. We have here's option B, which frankly is probably going to be a better option for you. And then they just don't proceed with anything. Or they file something on their own. They go to the courthouse, they file their own case, and it gets dismissed. Why? Because, they just didn't have enough evidence. okay? And now the family is just, I mean, they're besides themselves. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And of course, you know, the whole family goes just a little further down the proverbial rabbit hole because this is a family disease and it's destroying the whole family. And so if you are a family, you have a loved one who is using substances and we think we have enough, we'll tell you. If we don't, we're going to tell you that too. But I want you to bear in mind, you know, as lawyers, we're sort of bound by the rules of evidence, meaning there are certain rules that where the judge is going to say, Mr. Astor, you cannot present that testimony. Mr. Astor, you cannot present that exhibit. It's not coming in. I'm not going to consider it. And so I want you to bear that in mind, okay? When you say, hey, this looks like a good fit, the Marchman Act looks like it might be a great, you know, tool for us to save our loved one and to save our family. So I want to share that with you because this is just something that's really important in terms of, can we file the case? Because I don't want to take your case. I don't want to take your money. I don't want to spend your time. And I don't want to give you hope where I don't think we can get you the right result. But if you want to talk to my team about the Marchman Act, the guardianship, the Baker Act, other alternatives for non-legal intervention, we'd love to have that conversation with you. But I appreciate you listening to this. And I know my team will be grateful to talk to you. And if you like this video, my marketing guys tell me to say this. I'm not really a techie guy. I just like to give this stuff away. Please give me a thumbs up. And if you can, subscribe to the channel. I try to put out a video every day so you can get the information that you need and you can get it fast and free so you can decide if this is something you might want to consider. Anyway, with that said, I appreciate you. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.